uh, is this thing on? Hmm. I gotta let it load. As usual, it keeps on saying the stream is unstable. Let's see how it is when I refresh it, as always. The only thing that's keeping me a bit insane, or now probably just sane, to see if I'm actually streaming at the correct time, the correct place, as normal. That normal is me having issues, consistent issues with actual stream. That's when I know I'm actual streaming instead of just doing recording and such. Now, let's see how this is. It still keeps on saying it's unstable. Looks like everything is still going good. I'm projecting all such. If not, I always review back to my notes. So, besides that, I'll just go on to the show, because for this show, it's a little bit different now. I have now got to the part in the audio where I'm actually speaking entire phrases instead of just one single word. Especially since the phrase would include words like del, el, la, that are incorporated into a phrase. Like encantado, or ¿dónde está usted? Or ¿dónde estás? Or ¿dónde está? Depending on what is it referring to. So, anywho, let me just start with the first word I learned, which was but. Not butt like the human anatomy butt, but just butt like. But holding something back in a sentence. So, example would be hablo un poco, no, hablo español y castellano, pero un poco. So, what is it? I speak Castilian and Spanish, but only a little. Context provided. So, this is pero. I typed it in as pero, but turns out I was wrong. It's pero. So, let me type it in to remember the actual pronunciation. If you don't believe me, this is but.
But.
And pero. Pero. Let's go with pero. Pero. I'll go with Latin because it seems like it's a bit slower, and I'm trying to get the accent down. It seems like some words are in a Spaniard or Latin American Spanish, the audio lessons. So who knows? Maybe it's also just slowing down, because I picked pero because I could actually pronounce it and Latin American accent versus Spaniard because they're not speaking it that fast. Oh boy! The stream says that it's going great, however, OBS says that something's up. Really up. Well, no issues. No issues at all. Everything is working as it should be. So, perdón, but it's pero. So P-E-R-O. That's how you spell. Now I'm gonna chunking it so I could write it down without no issues. I could easily remember and stuff. So let me try to pronounce it. Pero. So for how many chunks in barrel, it will be 2. So the first chunk will be PE for be, and then the second chunk will be RO for ro. So be, ro. So 2 chunks. Each chunk has 2 letters, so that will be 22. So 2, 2. So it will be PERO, PERO, PERO. So I'm gonna practice typing it in, so I could practice from typing it in and remembering it. PERO, 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 PERO. Backwards is OREP, ORPE. P. No. I got that wrong. It is EP. Spelling regularly, it's just PERO. So pero, PERO, backwards is OREP. So now I got it. So PERO. Okay, let me change that. Instead of bedon, it's pero. I double checked it. That is good. Let me save some of my notes. So that's what it is. Let's look at an example. So pero. So I don't understand much. I haven't seen that before, so I don't know how to pronounce it. I wonder, let me actually look at my notes if there's a word with an S. There's señorita, there is señora, so for some reason in English I just came up with a sino, but it's probably a different pronunciation. But anywho, I bet that I'm going to learn this some other time. But you also have this one and such. But most of buts would be pero. Here, using it in a sentence for use to express a contrasting statement to epithetic and objection. So anywho, the next word will be, I will skip that one because that's an interesting one that I even tried to figure out if I should share it in a different page. So the next word or particular phrase will be pleased to meet you. So it'll be al contado. They use the phrase whenever as a greeting. So let's see if I can just type it in and it comes up. Pleased to meet you. Mucho gusto. Interesting. Let me display this.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you, and then mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto.
Alright. Let's look at the sentence to see if they have encantado. No, it seems like they don't. Now let me try to put it down. So I'm gonna figure out how you spell it. So it's cantado. So C-A-N for can. The first thing that comes up. So can da do. So let's go with a T-A, and the last chunk will be D-O. So cantado. Let's see what pops up. Predictable? Interesting. I put El Condado. That's weird. So it seems like I'm still a bit baffled. I gotta search it up in DuckDuckGo because they don't get your personal info and such. But anyway, I think pleased to meet you. Another greeting would be mucho gusto. Anywho, let's just type it in here. Spanish translate? No, I don't need the actual translation. I just need to see if other ways to say it. So this would be Spanish dictionary. Let's see if something comes up different. No, it has not. Okay, let's see if there's a link. Pleased to meet you in Spanish. Spanish English dictionary. Nope. Okay, pleased to meet you. El Condado de Gonzalez or something. I learned that before. Well, at least we got that. It's actually, I believe this is a Spanish. It's supposed to represent the Spanish flag, even though it's different. But oh well. They even got the Union Jack flipped and such. Now, encantado. So, yeah, I wrote a CAN and TEDO. No, TA or whatever, but no. It would be an ENCA and TADO. So close, but not that quite. I need to put the EN. But yeah, encantado. In the Spanish dictionary, this is the first thing that comes up. Encantado and then something something. Now let's see. El cantado. Oh. Come on, baby, speak.
Encantado de conocerle. Encantado de conocerle.
Oh, okay, now. I thought it was just an echo every time I press this. I press this and 3 people just end up speaking to me. Now, what about this one? It's feminine.
Encantada de conocerle.
Encantada de conocerle. Okay, so it could be masculine and feminine, so placing the O to an A if it's feminine, and then A to an O for masculine. Encantado. Alright, that's one. But let's look for a second one just to be sure. Encantado de conocerte. Now, I know the actual word for it, so let me just type it in and see what comes up. Delighted. Okay. So let's see if anything pops up. No dogo. Consarte. Pleased to meet you. Now that is interesting because going back over here, pleased to meet you versus pleased to meet you. So I do believe this is what I was supposed to search or pronounce, because who knows, maybe pleased to meet you is different than pleased to meet you. But it could just be Spanish dictionary getting confused of what I wanted for the search just because of the key phrasing. It's not the first time, so it's always good to look at other sources. In particular, the source I'm learning, since really I'm going to be spending the whole time actually saying El Cantado whenever I make it a meeting. Like, let's say if I'm meeting Bolivar, and I'll say Encantado to Bolivar. They didn't mention Simon Bolivar itself, but they had an example for El Hotel de Bolivar, so the Bolivar Hotel. So there's that. But anyway, El Cantado. I'm not gonna say this. I'm confident that if I just say this, people can get the gist of it. So Encantado, I'm gonna chunk it to Encantado. So I chunked it 3 times with N. I'm just gonna chunk it 4 because En, pronounce it itself, they go together. So 4 chunks. First one 2, second one 3, third one 2, last one 2. So 2 3 2 2. That's the law combination for chunking El Cantado. So ENCANTADO. Let me practice on it. What was that? I got a USB unplug notification, and I am a little bit cautious that it might be my camera, and it looks like it probably is. Yeah, now the stream It's gonna fall. Let me fix this. Boy. See if this pops up. Yep, everything is good. And it went down, so shoot. Yeah, don't worry. Let me get this. If it happens again, I'm still gonna be talking over, revealing all these notes and such. But other than that, El Condado. That's how you pronounce it. Condado. El Condado. So ENCANTADO. Now, onwards to hotel. There's nothing much to say. Hotel, the way it's pronounced in Spanish, is just hotel. Oh, come on. You didn't yeah, you didn't get rid of everything I typed in, you just included it. So there you go to the trash. So hotel, it will be hotel.
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 Ah, so this is Spanish and this is the English. So hotel, hotel. Both the same, so I'm gonna chunk it, and if you want to remember how to actually spell it in English, you use this chunk. It'll be great. So hotel. Hotel. So for both chunks, for English and Spanish, it would just be 2. First one 2, the second one 3. So it's 23 because del in Spanish still includes T-E-L in the pronunciation, and tel in English it still is T-E-L in the one pronunciation. So it's just a ho, del. The ho is just separate. It's just, you have to pronounce it like ho ho ho. Where someone says that they're saying 3 hoes at the same time. But anyhow, hotel, so H-O-T-E-L, H-O-T-A-L, H-O-T-A-L, H-O-T-A-L. And then backwards, L-E-T-O-L. No, O-H. H-O. H-O, 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 ho, ho, ho. Del, del, del. Tell, tell, tell me the ho, ho, ho. For some reason, me doing that makes me remember it better. There's some meaning to that. And this is what I mean by practicing use and such. Well, anywho, let me get this back up and running and such. So hotel. Now, the second one would be aquí. So pretty much you had aquí for here. English would be here. Spanish would be aquí. So let me pronounce the English one first.
Here.
Here. Then aquí.
Aquí.
Aquí. I got the spelling wrong. Not when I typed it in, but actually in my notes. Because I did not know there's an accent. So, oh well. There's an accent in the I for aquí. Now, chunking it, it's very interesting. Key. So the key. I keep on thinking of key in English for K-E-Y or Kilo Echo Yankee. So that probably might be the same way. Chunking in key in English would just be K-E-Y, because in my mind it's better just to follow the pronunciation versus just try to minimize it, unless it's like too much. But 3 letters? No, no. I figured if someone doesn't know much about chunking, yeah, definitely chunk it into smaller pieces versus just what you're able to bite in. Literally, you're cutting up a steak in order to have chunks. Or in this case, you're cutting up a piece of broccoli into chunks so you could easily digest it. Able to absorb what you need without no issues. That's for some reason me visualizing it as a common food, and it works. Well, yeah. Now, Faki, I would just chunk it into 2, which will be A as the first chunk, and the last chunk will be Q U Y. No, Q U I. Q U I. So Q U I. So something I'm gonna do is hand signals, because for some reason me doing a Q as a question mark, that's not the best Q, but I'm just doing this just to make a point. So Q, then a U, then an I. So U referring to tu or usted, if you're talking about Spanish, because usted is you, and then I. So in English it would be I or yo. So hablo, entiendo, all referring to me and such. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna follow it, seems. Well, chunking it will be A, then Q U I. So practice typing it. A Q U I, A Q U I, A Q U I, A Q U I. Lastly, A Q U I. Backwards is I U Q A. So yeah, that's what it is. Just chunking it into 2. I wonder how other people chunk it. So any thoughts? I have some thoughts. Now, the next word will be restaurante. As you can understand, it is just restaurant. So, restaurant. And yeah, this is gonna be interesting because I don't even know how to spell restaurant in English. So, I don't know, let me quickly chunk it. Rant. So, restaurant. I'm just chunking into 3. Rest for R-E-S-T, then A-U, then R-A-N-T. Aunt. So, A-U. I have to admit, I'm liking this because now I have practiced so much with chunking in a foreign language that even when it came to my native tongue and words I have trouble with, I could actually use the chunking process and the pronunciation, because I could actually understand English pronunciation because I learned my ABCs versus Spanish, which I don't know my ABCs because that's like everybody who's learning a foreign language. They just don't start with the basics. We just have to go straight forward and have to ask people about, hey, where's the bathroom? Hey, can I get a beer? Hey, excuse me, I'm gonna go home. I think the camera's off again. Oh boy. Alrighty. So, restaurant. Yeah. So, in Spanish, restaurante is actually spelled very identical. So you have the rest, then are on. So A-U. But instead of rant, so that would be the last chunk of restaurant. So R-A-N-T. There's an E. So it's a little bit baffling if you keep on thinking of the last chunk of restaurant as rant, so you're ranting and such, is ranti, which is close to a ranch. And then, you're probably thinking of like a horse ranch, a cattle ranch, a dressing ranch, or a salad dressing ranch. But anywho, we're gonna do the same thing. So rest, ran, te. Doing the same thing with pronunciation. I can easily,
Restaurante.
and you guys can actually do this. Feel comfortable in this. I actually would be I would actually be comfortable. However, if I'm just explaining it to someone brand new, I would chunk it instead of just 3 like this and add an E under rant. I will chunk it into 4. So the first chunk will be REST, second one will be AU, the third will be RANT, so rant. Actually, no. Scratch that. The third one will be ran, so RAN. Then fourth and last will be TE, because the pronunciation for restaurante, if you want to pronounce how to spell it, so jog your memory and such, it will be rest, so REST, then so AU. Just remember AU because in multiple languages it's just important just to understand them. That's the important chunk. It's just memorizing something. Doesn't totally make sense, but it's easier to digest and learn something in particular, especially with those odd word combinations, letter combinations like AU. Then it'll be ran, so RAN, then de, so TE. So let me slow it down to a restaurante. Rest, ran, de. So I said it 4 times. So it should be chunked 4 times. So spelling it will be SREET AUTE. And shoot, this is disconnected. I wonder if it's because I had my desk in standing mode this morning, and the cable is unplugged, or it's a computer me not actually undocking it, it's creating issues. So me actually leaving it here even though I'm not using it, it's creating issues too. But anywho, restaurante. Practiced it, so REST. So REST, AU, RAN, CE. So yeah. The AU makes me confused, but oh well. Just remember the EU in the middle of restaurant and restaurante. Now, the last one is an interesting one because I'm going to discuss it whenever I'm practicing words and such because it's part of audio, but I'm not going to put too much emphasis with it because the word I'm also learning is Castilian. So in Spanish it would be Castellano, but Castilian is a type of language in Spain that people would also refer to as Spanish, because in the audio they sometimes do lessons where say this word that's not Spanish or say this word that's not Castilian and vice versa. I know when I left off the audio, it created this rule where every time I mention Spanish as Espanol, mention it as Castilian, so Castellano, every time there's a sentence when they tell you like, do you know a little bit Spanish? So I'll say entiende un poco de castellano versus español. So yeah. Or hable castellano y español. So yeah, I gotta include that and such. But yeah, if I might as well just search it up. Let me see if I can actually have it here. Okay, so in this website, it looks like I have to like back out and such to erase everything instead of just typing it in because they would just include it. Something to remember. So, Custy. Yeah, it's gonna be hard because I don't even know how to pronounce it. So, Custy. Canteen. Yeah, it's gonna start out cantina and stuff like that. So, Ka. And also, I just don't know how to properly pronounce it. Well, anywho, I'll just put a page in front of it next time. Besides that, signing off before the camera logs me off and I don't get to see